In The Matrix, Neo is given the chance to see the world as it really exists. He learns to see beyond the buildings and job and normal life that he thinks he's leading into the computer program that is actually simulating what he thought was reality. Once he learns this truth, he can't go back to seeing the world in the old way. This book right here, Capital in the 21st Century by Thomas Piketty, which we talked about with Susan Ox about 20 minutes ago, is almost as mind-bending as Neo's awakening in The Matrix. After you read it, you just can't quite see the world in the same way. We've been operating on a couple of assumptions about wealth in this country that have dictated our policy conversation. Piketty, through careful analysis of data on inequality in 20 countries over hundreds of years, systematically destroys those assumptions. We've assumed that the period after World War II, in which the middle class flourished and prosperity was broadly shared, was the norm, and that the times we're living in now, times of rising inequality, are the anomaly. Not so, says Piketty. Rising inequality is a feature of capitalism, not a bug. Massive economic disparity is not just going to work itself out over time. Without an aggressive policy response, a rising tide will not, in fact, lift all boats, just as it's not lifted all boats over the past 30 years. We've also assumed that people usually get rich through their own initiative and entrepreneurial spirit. The bad old days of dynastic Europe, in which your station at birth determined your station at death, are in the past. Technology, we thought, has created a meritocracy. Not so, says Piketty once again. Take a look at the Forbes list of the wealthiest Americans. Already, 6 of the top 10 inherited their wealth rather than getting there through the bootstrap method. And money earned on that inherited wealth will grow much quicker than money earned from working a job. In other words, money will flow to the people who already have it at birth. Clearly, this is already happening. To Republicans who have built their party and their economic philosophy on the idea that income inequality is of no great concern in a capitalist system, and that if you aren't succeeding, it's because you aren't trying hard enough. This book is downright dangerous. Already attempts to discredit capital have started, and surprise, they look much like the same tired attempts to discredit everything that the right finds threatening. Just call communism and wait for it to go away. Our friends over at the National Review are off to a good start on that strategy, where James Pethokoukis calls Piketty a, quote, left-wing Frenchman who is spreading soft Marxism. He also warns that if unchallenged, Piketty's work will reshape the political economic landscape on which all future policy battles will be waged. Many of us have witnessed rising disparity and worried that without a dramatic adjustment, inequality would continue to soar, tearing at the fabric of our democracy. Now we have the data to prove it. And there's a funny thing about data. Sheldon Adelson can't buy it off for $100 million. It isn't intimidated by neo-McCarthyist slurs. Piketty's data means we absolutely must do something radical about rising inequality. It is the central challenge of our time and the true enemy of democracy. Piketty is the red pill, and for the sake of our democracy, there's no turning back.